Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Rumsfeld is a war criminal. I don't just say that, jokingly. Spain actually found him guilty of war crimes. In fact, because he's a war criminal, he can't even go to the EU. He cannot travel to any European nation part of the EU because he would be arrested. Most people don't know that. The reason I mention that is because on 9/11 and 12 years later, think about all the changes that have happened since 9/11. Regardless of what you believe about 9/11, one cannot deny that we've started foreign wars over 9/11. We invaded Iraq, Afghanistan. I've talked about most recently the Wesley Clark interviews that he gave with Democracy Now!, where he allegedly was told by a 3-star or 4-star general at the Pentagon that within days of 9/11 there was already plans for an invasion of Iraq. A month later he went to the Pentagon again. Same general tells him that now there's invasion plans for not just Iraq, also we were in Afghanistan at the time, but not just Iraq, but also Libya, Egypt, Iran, Syria, Lebanon, and the list goes on. I've told you it's because of the petrodollar, but that's another topic of discussion. I want to tell you that Barack Obama, who yesterday gave a pretty much worthless address to the nation, making the case, so-called, for a potential strike on Syria, although now he said that there may be an opening to some kind of diplomatic route with the Russians, and the Russians exercising, in essence, control over the situation. But think about exactly who it is that this government has been supporting for the last days, and specifically people like John McCain and Barack Obama, who they have been supporting in the Free Syrian Army and all of the other radical elements of radical Islamists that are fighting against Bashar al-Assad, as well as elements of Al-Qaeda. And you can see in video after video on multiple news sources the Free Syrian Army flying their flag along with the black flag of Al-Qaeda. Now keep in mind that after 9/11 and all the changes that took place, Department of Homeland Security, $100 billion yearly program plus, the TSA, the NSA. In fact, during the Bush administration, George Bush had actually, through the FISA courts, had told them to cut back on the surveillance that was being done. Well, recently, Barack Obama has now expanded the surveillance state, and that's all come to light after Edward Snowden. I'm here to say that Barack Obama, John McCain, John Kerry, Hillary Clinton, and all the others in Washington are indeed war criminals themselves. But not just war criminals. They should be guilty of treason. Now, treason, by definition, is providing material assistance, aid and comfort to the enemy. Aren't we doing that now in Syria? Aren't we arming the rebels, so-called rebels, who are really Al-Qaeda? To quote Ted Cruz, and you don't even need to take my word for it. To quote Ted Cruz, the U.S. Air Force is not Al-Qaeda's Air Force. So how do we hold them accountable? Who is going to hold not only these war criminals that are going against all kinds of international law? We now know on record Barack Obama was running guns from Libya to these Al-Qaeda rebels in Syria. In fact, Americans lost their lives over this, over Obama's gun running. You don't need to take my word for that either. Just research yourself. We know that Fast and Furious, they were running guns into Mexico. Yet another violation of all kinds of international standards. So who holds these war criminals accountable? And who holds them accountable for committing open acts of treason against the Republic? I'm Fabian for Liberty. Thanks for watching. I'm out.